Yeah, it's Chicken Patch Momo again. I haven't said that in a while, but I also haven't had no hair for a while, so I decided to shave my head recently, and I wanted to give an intro that's a little bit more throwback, like my look right now. But yeah, the Oscars were last night, and we had a little like Oscars viewing party, and it was great. The artist won everything that I wanted it to, including Best Actor, which I thought was good. I mean, he gave a great performance, but I thought that there was possibly some better acting from some of the other guys. But you know, it was. I mean, he was just an outright performer and very good at it. So it was well worth watching. But I wanted to talk today. I had a conversation with one of my roommates yesterday. I feel like so many of these videos start out that way. I had a conversation with one of my roommates, but that's what happens. Um, this channel is kind of um, to a channel to document what was going on in this period of my life, so that when I'm 80, I can go back and watch it and see these videos and hear what kinds of things I had to say when I was 24, or however old I was when I was making the videos. So, you know, I want to talk about what my life is like at this time. And it's bizarre. There's certain things I won't talk about, like I don't want to say anything that would offend anybody or bring up private information on somebody else and stuff like that. So there's some things I won't talk about, and those are written in like a journal. But um, there's other things where I just want to give kind of like a an insight into how I'm living my life at the moment. And one conversation I had yesterday with a roommate is that I feel almost like I'm jaded, living in the way that I do, and not jaded as in the way people get where like when you're jaded you couldn't be inspired to do art. So you could be jaded on something, but when you're jaded in general, it's kind of like you just don't have any. Basically, I feel like I lack perspective on the world as a whole. And you could look at it the other way and say I have a very unique perspective on the world. But what it comes down to is I don't experience life at all outside of these walls of the think tank. Pretty much 100% of my time. There will be some times where I go like 3 or 4 days without leaving my house at all. Period. And my food comes in. I pay monthly with my rent. Well, I pay like we do this weekly program where we all pay for produce, $10 a week, and all sorts of food, and then it's all brought in, and then I cook here, and so I don't have to leave to get food at all. I don't think I've gone grocery shopping in like maybe 2 months now. Um, I live here, I work here, all of my friends are here, everyone I know, when there are like our house is a destination, so when people want to hang out they want to come here to hang out, so we don't go somewhere else. Like if I do have other friends that don't live with me, they come visit. I don't go to school anymore. I will be soon, but I don't now. Um, and when I need problem solved, usually I can handle it on the phone or on the internet, so I don't have to leave for that. When I want beer, that's it, and the liquor store is like 2 blocks down, so I don't even have to go too far for that. And honestly, I only drink like a couple times a week anyway because I'm always working. So I have this really a lifestyle that has a very very limited perspective, and it's fine for me because I'm capable of living totally within myself and 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 working out of my imagination and creating a total world in itself for whatever I'm working on at the moment. So I don't need to go out to be inspired. I can do that from here. Um, but it's really strange, and I notice that I just will totally forget that people interact with the world in the ways that they do. I'll see my friends on Facebook, and they're like getting houses and buying cars and having kids and getting married and things like that, and it's totally not something that I could comprehend at all. Um, and it almost depresses me. I'll see commercials on TV. That's another thing. I don't even actually ever see commercials, and I do a lot of my interaction with the with society on the internet. And on the internet, most of the time, ads are catered to you because of keywords that you've typed into whatever the site is. So the only ads that I see are stuff for like shoes and painting and stuff that's actually relevant to me that I might actually want. So it doesn't even like faze me. I don't even notice it when it's on the sidebar of my Facebook page or something. And watching TV, the only time that I see commercials is when I'm watching sports live usually, and at that point I'm probably working on something. So when the commercials come on, I just zone them out and continue painting. It's still probably getting to me and affecting me in some way, but I don't notice it. And but most of the time, I'm things are recorded. I record them knowing that I will want to watch whatever the documentary or sports game or whatever it is, Adventure Time, whatever it is while I'm working. I know that I'm going to want to watch it later, so I record it so that I can skip the commercials and watch even more content, absorb even more content while I'm working, and just get that multitasking in. So I'll see things like the other day I opened a magazine and it had all these ads for beauty supplies, and it was just the most depressing thing because every page that I turned, it was someone trying to tell a woman that she's not beautiful already and that she needs to change something about herself to be beautiful, or that she needs to keep her face looking young to be beautiful. And coming from my perspective, I think that that's a damn shame, because I think that old women with wrinkles in their face and I guess sinking skin over their cheekbones, their features become almost more pronounced. And I think it's beautiful. I love gray hair. I think it's all gorgeous. And so when I see things like that, and I remember that that's the society that I came from, that's how they feel about the world, it's really strange to me. And I'm almost glad that I'm jaded, but at the same time, I am also trying to run a sneaker blog, and later on this year I'll be building a brand that I already started, and at that point I'm going to have to become very connected to this world. And I noticed that when I do have to do things like go to Hollywood for a show, it almost upsets me to see the way that people are up there, and I don't necessarily want to be a part of. I certainly don't want to be like them, but I don't want to be a part of that community sometimes, because I want people to have actual like real connections with one another, not this like you go to these things and people will talk about what clothes they're wearing and what shows they went to and what I parked next to Will Ferrell yesterday at the Coffee Bean, and then they'll actually have a conversation about that. Like, it's not like you would just say that and then the people are like, oh cool, because there's nothing more to talk about to me once you say that. They'll actually have a conversation. Like, that's legitimately interesting enough to them that they'll talk about it. And to me, that's freaking nuts. He's just a person. And I don't know, this has gotten to 7 minutes and 45 seconds so far, but basically I feel jaded. I feel like I lack perspective on the world, on a world outside of myself, and I don't think that that's a bad thing, but I'm going to have to change that pretty soon. So we'll see when that change comes. It's already kind of coming now that I'm running a sneaker blog. I've been gaining a lot more perspective, and I think that's why I noticed the fact in the first place. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think about it. Do you feel like there's ever any times when you'll get like a culture shock, like you'll see something, maybe going to a different culture, but even within your own, you won't realize that something was a thing? People say that sometimes. I didn't even know that was a thing. That happens to me very often. So let me know if it ever happens to you, or if it has recently, and what it was that occurred. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.